Hello everyone watching this lesson, especially the senior ones. You're most welcome. We continue to thank God for His protection against COVID-19. I'm going to take you through this lesson and we are going to concentrate on ICT safety precautions. Last time in the previous lesson, we looked at how we handle and maintain our ICT tools. This time we are looking at the safety precautions when we are dealing with the ICT tools. So under this, we are going to look at ICT tools security threats and measures, and then we are going to see how we use the user manuals that are guiding us on the safety precautions. I'm Tulina Dorothy, Trinity College Nabingo, and in case you want to give any feedback, you can email me on that email address, tulinadoroth@gmail.com. Now, I have some precautions, general precautions before me here, as you're seeing them. General safety precautions. There are a number of safety precautions that we come across generally as we move along the community. When we go to different places, there are some safety precautions that we always come across. Here I have one that is talking about electronic materials. Don't crash, don't drop. So that is a caution about electronic materials. I have another one indicating slow down. You know what it means. The moment you see such a caution, you need to act accordingly. I have one that is made from Trinity College in Nabingo. It is reminding us on masking up when we are heading out. Wherever you're going to the public, you need to put on a mask. All those are precautions. I have another one here. You're seeing it and you can describe what it means. Another one here talking about, this one is talking about the fire, where you need to take caution. There are some places where you're not supposed to light fire. And then another one is warning us about the sensitive electronic devices. Another one is warning us about the danger live wires. So those are general precautions, and there are a number of them that we come across as we go on moving from place to place. And when we see them, we need to act accordingly. Now, considering that as general safety precautions, there is a question here asking you, in which places do you find each of the above? Do you pay attention to those warnings and precautions? Do you pay attention to those? If you go near a zebra crossing caution, do you pay attention to it? Similarly, when we look at the ICT safety precautions, we are going to see that there are many cautions that are given to us as we use the ICT tools. But before we go into deep in that, I want you to write down this activity, differentiating between handling and maintaining ICT tools. You differentiate it from ICT safety precautions. The activity says, in your own words, briefly differentiate handling and maintaining ICT tools from ICT safety precautions. They are two different terms and they have different meaning. attempt that activity. As we continue, we are going to look at the user manuals that always guide us on how to use the different ICT tools. For each and every device, for each and every guide, there is a guide that is indicating what you should do, how you should guard yourself against the dangers that may harm you as you're using that device. Now, before us, we are having a Yamaha piano safety precautions. Safety precautions. Here, I'm going to upload this under the e-library, whereby you can zoom it and see clearly the contents of it, because you're going to attempt a certain activity on the same. So user manuals guide us on how we use the device, but many of us do not use them. We don't even read them. Now here comes the ICT lesson, reminding you to take note of those precautions that are always brought with the device. They'll help you to maintain and use the device for a long period of time without harming yourself. We have another one talking about the Nokia products and safety info. This is in line with the smartphones that we use, and it is also giving guidance. So you're going to read them and get the right content from it, and you answer the questions that follow. Don't forget, as you visit the e-library, you'll be able to zoom these pictures and you'll be able to read the text clearly. Another thing that we need to take note of is that under the ICT tools, security threats and measures, or the user manuals that we use, they are categorized into three. There are those that are cautioning us about the physical security, and others are cautioning us about the electrical security and document files. Others are cautioning us about the network security. So as you read the user manuals, you need to know, is this one telling me, cautioning me about the physical security? Is this one cautioning me about electrical security and securing my documents? Is this caution talking about the network security? Like you're seeing this picture here, the moment it appears on your screen, at least there is something that comes to your mind of there is a network error. Even if the word is not written, when you see just an image appearing like that, there is something that comes into your mind that is related to network. So, about the same, you're going to have this activity too. You're going to use the Nokia products and safety info in the previous slide, and you categorize the precautions therein into three. You're going to use this table here. So you categorize that this precaution is talking about physical security, and this one is talking about electricity, and this one is talking about network security. And then you do the activity as required. You can still do the activity as you watch the video, because you can pause, finish the exercise or the activity, then continue with the video, no problem. There is no problem with that. As we continue with the security threats and measures, like you've realized or you've identified them in the user manuals, here we want to mainly concentrate on the files that we use on our computers or on our different gadgets like the smartphones, the palm tops, the iPads, and then the real computers. There are some precautions that we need to take as we use those gadgets to protect our documents and to protect our files that we keep on those gadgets. Before me, I have, on our slides, we have this picture talking about encrypting our documents, and I understand many of you have ever come across it. It has a caution, and one thing you need to know, for each and every caution as we talk about the ICT tools, security threats and measures, when a caution is given, a measure is also given. In other words, a solution is given. So this means as we use these gadgets, we are not only talking about the dangerous part of it or something that can harm us, but we need to look at, if I observe this caution, I won't harm myself in any way, or my documents will be safe. So it is not a matter of saying I won't because this one will happen. You just need to take caution and then take the measures as they are recommended. So these images that you're seeing here, the figures that you're seeing here, you're going to look at them critically, then identify the threat and the cautions that they have. You identify the caution in those two figures, and then after identifying the cautions, what are the measures to be taken? Because for each caution that is given for the ICT security threats and measures or precautions, a caution is given and a measure is also given. So identify them in figure 1 and in figure 2. That is activity 3. As we are heading to the conclusion of our lesson, there is another general activity that I want you to do. Where you are at your homes, you don't even need to move to go anywhere. At your homes, you're going to do it from there. So the first question says, there are many ICT tools you use at home. Choose one device and write down the security threats that its users are likely to face. There are a number of them that you use at home, many of them, and you just find yourselves knowing the precautions, knowing the threats, the likely threats that may occur, and you keep notifying your friends, the family members that don't do this, this will happen. So just choose one device from the many that you use and write down the security threats that the users are likely to face. After writing them down, suggest the measures that should be taken to avoid the threats from occurring. Remember, we are applying the ICT skills. We don't only learn and get ticks in our books, but we want to apply. So if you tell your family members about the security threats of that device or gadget, and you tell them the measures, I assure you, you'll be keeping your devices for a long period of time. So that is what you'll be doing for now. And for more information and resources, you can always visit our e-learning platform, the e-library, where you're going to find this file, not in a video, but just a file for reference. And then in case you have another comment to make, you can always email us at info@tricona.sc.ug. Thank you very much. Stay home and stay safe.